The water was already pulling him under when Sky saw the hand disappear. She didn't scream for help. She already knew no one was coming. The river was freezing. Her shoes slipped on the rocks. Her chest burned as she ran. By the time she reached the edge, the man was barely moving. She jumped anyway. The cold wrapped around her legs like iron. Her breath vanished. Her fingers scraped stone, then fabric. She pulled. Pain tore through her arm as the current fought back. She didn't let go. When she dragged him onto the shore, he wasn't breathing. Sky pressed her hands to his chest the only way she knew how. "Please," she whispered. "Please don't die." She had no idea who he was. She only knew that if she stopped, he wouldn't get another chance. Sky learned something most people never do. The ocean doesn't warn you. It doesn't scream, doesn't flash red, doesn't give you time to think. 1 second, everything's normal. The next, someone's gone. She was standing at the edge of the Big Sur cliffs that afternoon. Tourists everywhere, phones out, smiling, posing, living their best lives. Sky wasn't like them. She never was. While they took pictures, she watched the water. Really watched it. The way it moved, the way it pulled, the way it lied about being calm. Her mom used to say she stared too long at things. "Sky, stop looking so hard. You'll see things that aren't there." But Sky saw things that were there. Things other people missed, like the man. He was farther out than everyone else. Standing on rocks most people avoided. The waves were hitting him differently, harder, faster. Sky's chest tightened. Something felt wrong. Then he tilted, just a little, like he lost his balance for half a second. Sky blinked. When she opened her eyes, the space where he stood was empty. Just water, folding, crashing, swallowing. Sky's heart slammed against her ribs. She waited for someone to scream, for someone to point, for someone to do something. But the tourists kept laughing, kept posing, kept living, like nothing happened. Sky looked around. Her hands started shaking. Did anyone else see it? Did anyone else see him disappear? Or was she the only one paying attention? The ocean kept moving, indifferent, cold, hungry, and somewhere beneath it, a man was drowning. Sky dropped her backpack. Her legs moved before her brain could stop them. Because here's the thing about Sky. She couldn't walk away. Even when no one else cared. Even when it wasn't her problem. Even when the ocean was colder and meaner than anything she'd ever faced. Sky ran. Straight toward the thing everyone else ignored. And the water was waiting. Sky's feet hit the rocks. Her breath came fast and sharp. She spun around, waited for the chaos, for someone to yell, "Call 911," for someone to run with her, for someone to do something. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. A woman adjusted her sunglasses. A kid licked an ice cream cone. A couple laughed at something on their phone. Sky's stomach twisted. Were they blind? Did they not see what just happened? The waves kept crashing where the man disappeared, over and over, like the ocean was erasing evidence. Sky's hands curled into fists. She wanted to scream, wanted to grab someone and shake them and make them see. But there was no time. Every second she stood there was a second he stayed under. She looked back at the water. It looked so normal, so innocent, like it hadn't just swallowed a human being whole. Sky's heart hammered in her chest. This was insane. She was 17 years old. She barely passed her swimming test in 10th grade. She had a cut on her hand from washing dishes that morning. She was tired, hungry, broke. She wasn't a lifeguard, wasn't a hero, wasn't trained for this. But nobody else was moving. And if she didn't go, if she turned around and walked back to her backpack and pretended she didn't see anything, that man was dead. Sky's throat burned. Her mom's voice echoed in her head. "Sky, you can't save everyone. You can barely save yourself." She was right. Sky couldn't even afford her guardian's medication this month, couldn't pay rent on time, couldn't fix the leak in their bathroom or the mold growing in the corner or the fact that they were one emergency away from losing everything. But still, Sky couldn't just stand there. She looked at the tourists one more time, hoping, praying, begging the universe to send someone stronger, someone better, someone who actually knew what they were doing. Nobody came. The waves folded over the spot again, and Sky made a choice, the kind of choice that changes everything, the kind you can't take back. She kicked off her shoes, her jacket hit the ground, the wind bit at her skin, and she jumped. The second she hit the water, she knew. This was a mistake. The cold didn't just touch her, it attacked her, stole the air from her lungs, locked her muscles, turned her body into stone. Sky gasped, choked, fought to keep her head above water. The current grabbed her like a hand, pulled her sideways, dragged her toward rocks she couldn't see. Panic exploded in her chest. This wasn't like the pool. This was wild, and it wanted her dead too. But somewhere under this freezing, violent water was a man who'd already stopped fighting. Sky forced her legs to kick, forced her arms to move, and dove under. The cold wasn't just cold. It was alive. It wrapped around Sky's chest and squeezed. Her lungs screamed for air, but her body forgot how to breathe. She kicked harder. Nothing worked right. Her arms felt slow, heavy, wrong. The current pulled her sideways, then down, then somewhere she couldn't track anymore. Sky's eyes burned from the salt. She forced them open anyway. The water was dark, murky, full of shadows that moved like they had purpose. Where was he? Where was the man? Panic clawed at her throat. What if she was too late? What if he was already gone? What if she dove into freezing water and risked her life for a body that stopped breathing 2 minutes ago? Sky's chest tightened. She needed air, now. But she pushed deeper instead. Then she saw him, 10 feet down. Maybe less, sinking. His arms floated above his head like he'd already surrendered. His jacket billowed around him. His eyes were closed. He looked peaceful. That's what scared Sky the most. He looked like he'd accepted it. Sky's heart cracked. No, not today. Not on her watch. She kicked down, hard, fast, desperate. Her lungs felt like they were collapsing. Her vision started to blur at the edges, but she reached him. Her fingers grabbed his jacket, and the weight almost pulled her under with him. Sky's eyes went wide. He was heavy, heavier than anything she'd ever tried to carry. Dead weight in water that wanted them both. She pulled. He didn't move. She pulled again. Her muscles screamed. Her body begged her to let go, to swim up, to save herself. But Sky didn't let go. She wrapped her arm around his chest and kicked. Once, twice. They moved an inch. The surface felt a mile away. Sky's lungs were on fire now. Her vision darkened. She thought about her guardian at home, waiting, worrying, sick. She thought about the hospital bills stacked on their kitchen table. She thought about how stupid this was, how reckless, how completely insane. But she kept kicking. Her knee slammed into something sharp. Rock. Pain exploded up her leg. Hot. Immediate. Wrong. Sky gasped. Water rushed into her mouth. She choked, coughed, swallowed more salt. Her leg burned. Something warm filled her shoe. She knew what that meant. Blood. But she didn't look, couldn't look, because if she looked, if she saw how bad it was, she'd stop. And if she stopped, they both died. Sky gritted her teeth, tasted copper and salt and fear, and kicked one more time. Her head broke the surface. Air hit her face like a slap. She gasped, choked, pulled the man's head above water. His face was gray, lips blue, eyes still closed. Sky's heart sank. Was she too late? Did she kill herself trying to save someone already dead? The rocks were close now, 5 feet, maybe less. Sky's arms shook. Her injured leg barely worked, but she pulled him, inch by inch, scraping against stone, bleeding, drowning in air, until finally, they reached the rocks. Sky dragged him onto the stone and collapsed beside him. Her chest heaved, her legs screamed, and the man didn't move, didn't cough, didn't breathe. Sky's hands shook as she pressed her ear to his chest. Silence. Nothing but ocean and wind and her own heartbeat pounding in her ears. No, 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 no. Sky's vision blurred. She wasn't losing him. Not after this, not after everything. Her hands found his chest, and she started compressions. There are two types of people in this world. People who walk away when things get hard, and people like Sky, who jump in even when the water's freezing, even when their leg is bleeding, even when no one else cares. She just gave CPR to a dying man. Broke. Her body trying to save his, and in about 5 minutes she's going to get slapped across the face for it, because the universe doesn't reward heroes, it tests them. And Sky's about to face the biggest test of her life. If you're the kind of person who doesn't walk away, who stays for the whole story, who feels these moments deeply, hit that subscribe button. Because I tell stories for people like you, people like Sky, people who care. Now let's see what happens next. Sky's palms pressed into his chest. 1, 2, 3, 4. She counted in her head because counting kept her focused, kept her from thinking about how his skin felt too cold, how his lips were the wrong color, how he looked more dead than alive. 5, 6, 7, 8. Her arms already burned, her shoulders screamed, her injured leg throbbed with every compression, but she couldn't stop, wouldn't stop. 9, 10, 11, 12. In health class, they practiced on a dummy. It had a name. Rescue Randy or something stupid like that. The dummy didn't weigh anything, didn't bleed, didn't make Sky wonder if she was pressing too hard or not hard enough. The teacher said 30 compressions, then 2 breaths, but Sky's mind went blank after 15. Was it 15? 20? Did she count twice? Her hands slipped. She repositioned, pressed harder. His ribs felt fragile under her palms. What if she broke something? What if she was making it worse? Sky's vision blurred with tears. She didn't have time to cry. She tilted his head back, pinched his nose, and breathed into his mouth. Once, twice. His chest rose, fell, didn't rise again. Sky pulled back, started compressions again. Her whole body shook now, from cold, from exhaustion, from fear. Blood soaked through her sock. Every time she shifted weight, pain shot up her leg like lightning. But she kept going. Because what else could she do? Stop? Give up? Let him die on these rocks after dragging him out of the ocean? No. Sky pressed harder, faster. Her form was wrong. She knew it. Too frantic, too desperate. But textbook CPR didn't matter when someone was dying in front of you. She breathed into his mouth again. Please, please work. Please don't make me live with this. Nothing. His body stayed limp, heavy, wrong. Sky's chest tightened. She was losing him. Maybe she'd already lost him. Maybe he died the second he hit the water and she just didn't want to accept it. Her mom's voice whispered in her head again. Sky, you can't save everyone. Sky's jaw clenched. Watch me. She positioned her hands, locked her elbows, pushed down with everything she had left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Her arms trembled violently. 5, 6, 7. Her leg gave out. She collapsed forward, caught herself, kept going. 8, 9, 10. Somewhere behind her, voices started rising. People were finally noticing, finally reacting, but they were too far away, too slow. It was still just Sky, just her and this man, and the space between life and death. 11, 12, 13. She breathed into his mouth again. Her lips were numb, her hands cramped, her whole body begged her to stop. But she pressed down one more time, and he coughed. Sky froze. It was small, weak, barely there, but it was something. He coughed again. Water spilled from his mouth. His chest convulsed. Sky rolled him onto his side as more water poured out. He gasped, choked, gasped again, and then his eyes opened, just barely, unfocused, confused, but open. Sky collapsed backward onto the rocks. Her body finally gave in to everything it had been holding back. The cold, the pain, the terror. She sobbed, huge, ugly, uncontrollable sobs that shook her entire body. Her hands covered her face, blood smeared across her cheek. She didn't care. He was alive, the man was alive, and Sky had never felt more exhausted in her entire life. She lay back on the stone, stared at the sky, and let the tears come, because she'd just done the impossible, and nobody even saw it happen. The sirens came 12 minutes later. Sky knew because she counted every second. 12 minutes of lying on cold rock, 12 minutes of shaking so hard her teeth chattered, 12 minutes of watching the man breathe and praying he kept breathing. The paramedics rushed past her, straight to him. Sky didn't move, couldn't move. Her body had used everything it had, and now there was nothing left. She sat there, bleeding, shivering, invisible. The crowd grew. Phones came out. Everyone wanted to see, to record, to post about the drama they missed. Sky watched them watch him. Nobody looked at her. A paramedic checked the man's vitals, spoke into a radio. Another wrapped him in a thermal blanket. They moved fast, professional, efficient. Sky's leg throbbed. She glanced down. Blood pooled in her shoe, dripped onto the rock. The cut was deep, deeper than she thought. She should say something, tell someone, ask for help. But her voice wouldn't work, and even if it did, would anyone listen? The man coughed again, weak but steady. A paramedic leaned close, asked him questions. His name, the date, where he was. The man's voice came out rough, broken, but he answered. He was coherent, alive. Sky's chest loosened just a little. She did it. She actually did it. A woman pushed through the crowd, tall, sharp suit, designer sunglasses even though the sun was setting. She moved like she owned the space, like everyone should step aside, and they did. She reached the paramedics, spoke quickly, pointed at the man. One of the paramedics nodded, stepped back. The woman crouched beside the man, touched his face, said something Sky couldn't hear. The man's eyes found hers for half a second, then looked away. Sky's stomach twisted. Something felt wrong. The woman stood, scanned the crowd. Her eyes landed on Sky, and they weren't kind. Sky's breath caught. The woman walked toward her, slow, deliberate, like a predator who'd found prey. Sky tried to stand. Her leg buckled. She fell back onto the rock. Hard. Pain shot through her spine. The woman stopped 3 feet away, looked down at Sky like she was something dirty, something suspicious. You. Sky's heart pounded. Me? What did you do to him? Sky blinked. I pulled him out. He was drowning. You touched him. It wasn't a question. It was an accusation. Sky's mouth went dry. He was dying. The woman's jaw tightened. Where's your ID? What? Your identification. Show me. Sky's hand shook. I left my bag. Where's your bag? Sky pointed toward the cliff edge, 20 feet away. The woman snapped her fingers at someone in the crowd. A man in a polo shirt jogged over, grabbed Sky's backpack, brought it to the woman. She dumped it onto the rocks. Sky's stomach dropped. Her wallet fell out. Her phone with the cracked screen. A water bottle. Half a sandwich in plastic wrap. A bottle of pills. And hospital bills. So many hospital bills. The woman picked one up. Read it. Her expression shifted from suspicion to something worse. Disgust. She looked at Sky like she'd figured something out, like she'd solved a puzzle. You're broke. Sky's throat burned. It wasn't a question. The woman dropped the bill, let it flutter back to the rocks. You saw an expensive watch, expensive clothes, thought you'd play hero and get a reward. Sky's chest tightened. No, I didn't. How much were you going to ask for? I wasn't going to. How much? Sky's vision blurred. Not from tears, from rage. She saved his life. She bled for him, nearly drowned for him. And this woman thought it was a scam. Sky's voice came out quiet, shaking, but clear. I didn't ask for anything. The woman's eyes narrowed. You will. She turned, walked back to the paramedics, and Sky sat there, bleeding, shaking, alone, while the man who almost died got loaded into an ambulance and nobody, not one person, asked if she was okay. The woman came back. Sky knew it was coming, could feel it in the way the air shifted, the way the crowd got quieter. The woman stood over her, blocking the last bit of sunlight. "Stand up." Sky's leg screamed in protest, but she tried anyway, got halfway up before her knee gave out. She fell, hit the rock. Fresh pain exploded through her body. The woman didn't offer a hand, didn't flinch, just watched. "I said stand up." Sky's jaw clenched. She used the rock to pull herself up, stood on one leg. Blood dripped from her shoe onto the stone. Drip, drip, drip. The woman stepped closer. "Did you take anything from him?" Sky's eyes widened. What? No. His wallet, his watch, his phone. "Did you take anything?" "I saved his life." The woman's hand moved so fast Sky didn't see it coming. The slap echoed across the rocks. Sky's head snapped to the side. Her cheek burned. Her ears rang. The crowd gasped, but nobody moved. Nobody stepped in. Nobody said, "Stop." Sky's eyes filled with tears she refused to let fall. The woman leaned close. Her voice dropped low, vicious. "I know girls like you. I've seen this before. You create a situation, play the hero, then ask for money." Sky's voice shook. "I didn't create anything. He was drowning. So you say. Ask him. When he wakes up, ask him what happened." The woman's smile was cold. "He doesn't remember. Trauma. The doctors said it's normal." Sky's stomach dropped. Of course he didn't remember. Of course the one person who could tell the truth couldn't speak. The woman gestured to someone behind her. Two security guards stepped forward. "Search her bag again, thoroughly." Sky's heart raced. "You already searched it. Then you won't mind if we search it again." The guards dumped everything out. Again, shook out her wallet, opened the pill bottle, unfolded every piece of paper. The crowd watched like it was a show, like Sky was entertainment. One guard held up the hospital bills, read the name at the top. "These aren't even for you." Sky's throat tightened. "They're for my guardian." "Your guardian." The woman said it like it was suspicious, like caring for someone sick made Sky a criminal. "How convenient. Medical debt. Perfect sob story." Sky's hands curled into fists. "It's not a story. It's my life." The woman ignored her, turned to the guards. "Anything valuable?" They shook their heads. "Nothing. Just bills and cheap medication." The woman's expression flickered, just for a second. Like maybe, just maybe, she realized she was wrong, but she didn't apologize, didn't take it back, just waved her hand dismissively. "Put it back." The guard shoved everything into Sky's bag, handed it to her roughly. Sky clutched it to her chest. Her whole body shook, not from cold anymore, from humiliation, from rage, from the unfairness of it all. She risked her life, bled on these rocks, saved a stranger, and this was her reward, being treated like a thief, being slapped, being searched like a criminal in front of dozens of people with phones. The woman stepped back, adjusted her suit jacket, like nothing happened. "Stay away from him. Stay away from us. If I see you anywhere near him, I'll have you arrested." Sky's voice came out hoarse, broken. "I don't want anything from him." "Good. Because you'll get nothing." The woman turned, walked toward the ambulance. The crowd started to disperse. The show was over. Sky stood there, alone, shaking, bleeding. The paramedics closed the ambulance doors. The lights flashed. The sirens started, and they drove away. Without Sky, without checking her leg, without asking her name, without saying thank you. Sky watched the ambulance disappear down the coastal highway. Then she looked at the rocks, at the blood, at the water that tried to kill them both, and she wondered if saving him was the biggest mistake of her life. Because heroes don't get slapped. Heroes don't get accused. Heroes don't stand alone on rocks while the person they saved gets driven away in comfort. But Sky wasn't a hero. She was just a broke girl who couldn't walk away. And that was the problem. The crowd was gone. The ambulance was gone. The woman was gone. Sky was still there, still bleeding, still shaking, still invisible. She tried to take a step. Her leg collapsed under her. She hit the ground hard, face down on the rocks. Gravel bit into her palms. Fresh tears came, not from pain, from exhaustion, from defeat, from the crushing weight of being completely alone. Sky pressed her forehead against the cold stone and wanted to disappear. Nobody was coming back for her. Nobody was checking if she was okay. Nobody cared. She'd saved a life, and all it cost her was blood and humiliation, and this empty space where gratitude should have been. Her phone buzzed in her bag. 3 missed calls, all from the same number. Home. Sky's chest tightened. Her guardian, waiting, worrying, wondering where Sky was. She forced herself to sit up, wiped her face with shaking hands, tasted salt and copper. Her leg looked worse than before. The cut was deep, jagged, still bleeding. She needed stitches, probably needed a hospital, but hospitals cost money. Money she didn't have, money she'd never have. Sky pulled off her jacket, wrapped it tight around her leg, tied it with trembling fingers. It wasn't enough, but it was all she had. She grabbed her backpack, checked inside. The hospital bills were crumpled now, dirty, torn at the edges from the guards' rough hands. The pill bottle rattled, only 3 left, 3 pills for 2 weeks of medication. Sky's throat burned. She zipped the bag, slung it over her shoulder, and tried to stand again. This time she made it. Barely. Her leg screamed, but she put weight on it anyway. Took 1 step, then another. Each one felt impossible. Each one hurt more than the last. But she kept going. Because what choice did she have? Sit on the rocks and wait for help that wasn't coming? Cry until the ocean swallowed her too? No. Sky had been on her own for a long time. She knew how to survive. Even when surviving hurt. Even when it wasn't fair. Even when the world made it clear she didn't matter. She limped past the spot where the crowd had stood. Past the place where the woman slapped her. Past the bloodstains on the rocks that proved she was real. That this happened. That she saved someone. Even if nobody believed it. Even if nobody cared. The sun was setting now. Orange and pink and beautiful. The kind of sunset tourists paid money to see. Sky didn't look at it. She focused on the parking lot. 50 feet away. Might as well have been 50 miles. Her leg gave out twice more before she reached it. Both times she caught herself. Both times she got back up. Because that's what Sky did. She got back up. Her car sat alone in the far corner. Rusted. Dented. Held together by duct tape and prayer. But it was hers. Sky fumbled for her keys. Dropped them. Bent to pick them up and almost fell again. Her vision blurred. From pain. From exhaustion. From everything. She unlocked the door. Collapsed into the driver's seat. And finally, let herself break. The sobs came hard and ugly, shook her whole body, made her ribs ache, made her throat raw. She cried for the unfairness, for the pain, for the fact that she did everything right and still lost, still got hurt, still ended up alone. Her phone buzzed again. Home. Sky wiped her face, took a shaking breath, and answered. Hey. Her guardian's voice came through, worried and weak. Sky, where are you? Are you okay? Sky looked at her wrapped leg, at the blood soaking through her jacket, at the bruise forming on her cheek, at the empty passenger seat where gratitude should have been. Yeah, her voice cracked. I'm fine. She wasn't fine. Nothing was fine. But some lies were easier than the truth. Sky started the car and drove home, away from the ocean, away from the rocks, away from the place where she learned that saving someone's life meant absolutely nothing. If you were the wrong kind of person, in the wrong place, with the wrong amount of money in your pocket. The world didn't care about heroes. It cared about who you were before you became one. And Sky? Sky was nobody. Just a broke girl with a bleeding leg and a story no one would ever believe. Sky's home sat behind a strip mall, the kind of place tourists drove past without seeing, between a laundromat and a closed-down restaurant. Hidden, forgotten, cheap. She parked in the gravel lot, sat there for a minute, 2 minutes, 5. Her leg had stopped bleeding, or maybe she just couldn't feel it anymore. Everything hurt now, her body, her pride, her faith in people. She needed to go inside, needed to smile, needed to pretend today was normal. Sky grabbed her bag, opened the door, and limped toward home. The front door stuck like it always did. She shouldered it open. The smell hit her first. Medicine, bleach, sickness. The kind of smell that lived in the walls now. That wouldn't leave no matter how many windows she opened. Her guardian sat in the recliner by the window, oxygen tubes in her nose, breathing mask within reach. Pale. So pale. But she smiled when Sky walked in. "There you are, I was worried." Sky forced a smile back. "Sorry, lost track of time." Her guardian's eyes narrowed, the way they always did when Sky lied. "You're limping." "Twisted my ankle. It's nothing." "Sky, I'm fine, really." Sky dropped her bag, moved toward the kitchen before more questions came. "Did you eat?" Her guardian nodded. "Half a sandwich." Wasn't hungry. She was never hungry anymore. The medication killed her appetite. Sky opened the fridge, nearly empty, some eggs, bread, a container of leftovers from 3 days ago. Her stomach twisted. She wasn't hungry either, but she grabbed the bread anyway, made herself a sandwich she wouldn't eat, just so her guardian wouldn't worry. "How was your day?" Sky's hands shook as she spread peanut butter. "Fine. Quiet." "Did you apply to those jobs?" "Not yet. Tomorrow." Another lie. She'd applied to 17 jobs this week, got 0 calls back. "Sky." Her guardian's voice was soft, worried. "You look exhausted." Sky's throat tightened. "I'm okay." "You're not." Sky set down the knife, gripped the counter, tried to breathe through the weight crushing her chest. "I'm trying." "I know you are, baby. I know." Sky turned around. Her guardian looked smaller than yesterday. Thinner. Weaker. The oxygen machine hummed in the corner. The medical bills sat on the table. Past due. All of them. Sky had counted them last night. $4,000. Might as well have been 4 million. "We're going to be okay," Sky said. She didn't believe it. Her guardian didn't either. But some lies you tell because the truth is too heavy to hold. "Come sit with me." Sky limped over, sat on the floor beside the recliner. Her guardian's hand found her hair, stroked it gently, the way she used to when Sky was little, when the world was smaller, when problems had solutions. "What happened to your face?" Sky's hand went to her cheek. The slap. She'd forgotten about it. Bumped into something. Wasn't paying attention. Her guardian's fingers traced the red mark. "Sky, I'm fine." "You keep saying that because it's true." It wasn't true. Nothing was true anymore. Sky saved a man's life today. Got accused of being a thief. Got slapped. Got left bleeding on rocks. And came home to a guardian who couldn't breathe without a machine. To bills they couldn't pay. To a future that looked darker every single day. But she couldn't say any of that. Couldn't add more weight to shoulders already breaking. So she sat there, let her guardian play with her hair, and pretended everything was fine. The oxygen machine hummed, the fridge buzzed, the strip mall lights flickered through the window, and Sky wondered how much longer they could survive like this, how many more days until the power got shut off, until they got evicted, until her guardian's medication ran out. 3 pills left, 3 days. Then what? Sky closed her eyes, felt her guardian's gentle touch, and tried not to think about the man in the hospital. The one breathing easily now. The one surrounded by people who cared. The one who'd never know what it cost to save him. Or how much Sky lost in the process. Some people get rescued. Some people do the rescuing. And some people just survive. Day after day, invisible, forgotten, bleeding quietly where no one sees. Sky was tired of surviving, but she didn't know how to do anything else. The man opened his eyes in a private hospital room. White walls, soft lighting, machines beeping steadily. He was alive. He knew that much, but he didn't feel grateful. A doctor stood at the foot of his bed, clipboard in hand, smiling like death was just an inconvenience. "Welcome back, Mr. Harrison. You're very lucky." Lucky. The word tasted wrong. The man, Harrison, tried to sit up. Pain shot through his chest. "Easy. Your ribs are bruised. The CPR was aggressive, but it saved your life." CPR. Someone gave him CPR. Harrison's memory was fractured, pieces missing. He remembered standing on the rocks, watching the water, feeling the pull. Then, nothing. Just cold. Just darkness. Just the strange peace of letting go. What happened? The doctor consulted his notes. "You were pulled from the water by a bystander, a young woman, from what witnesses said. She performed CPR until you started breathing again." A young woman. Harrison's chest tightened. "Where is she?" The doctor's smile faltered. "I don't have that information. She wasn't transported with you." "Why not?" "I assume she didn't need medical attention." Harrison's jaw clenched. Something felt wrong about that. The door opened. The woman from the cliffs walked in. Designer suit, cold expression, his assistant, Vanessa. "You're awake. Good." She moved like she owned the room, dismissed the doctor with a look. He left without argument. Vanessa sat in the chair beside Harrison's bed, crossed her legs. "You scared everyone." Harrison didn't respond. "The board is relieved. The press has been calling. I've handled it. Told them it was an accident, a wave, nothing more." "The girl." Vanessa's expression hardened. "What about her? Where is she?" "Gone." "Gone where?" "I don't know, and frankly, I don't care." Harrison's eyes narrowed. "She saved my life." "So she claims." "What does that mean?" Vanessa leaned forward. "It means I saw her, Harrison. Saw her clothes, her bag, hospital bills, medication. She was poor, desperate. So desperate people create opportunities. She probably saw your watch, your suit, calculated the reward." Harrison's stomach turned. "You think she let me drown so she could save me?" "I think she saw a golden ticket." "That's insane." "Is it? You don't remember what happened. Trauma affects memory. For all we know, she pushed you." Harrison's hands curled into fists. "That's not what happened." "How do you know?" "He didn't. That was the problem. His memory was a black hole, but something deep in his gut rejected Vanessa's version, rejected the cruelty of it." "What did you do?" Vanessa's expression didn't change. "I protected you. Searched her bag. Made sure she didn't steal anything." "You searched her?" "Of course I did." Harrison's voice dropped. "Did you thank her?" Silence. Vanessa looked away. "Did you thank her, Vanessa?" "She didn't deserve thanks." Harrison's chest tightened, not from pain, from something worse. "You accused her. I questioned her. There's a difference. You treated her like a criminal. I treated her like a threat." Harrison closed his eyes, saw flashes, small hands, determined eyes. Someone pulling when the ocean wanted to push, someone fighting when he'd already given up. He hadn't tried to live. That's what he remembered now. He'd let the water take him, let the darkness come, welcomed it. But someone dragged him back anyway. Someone refused to let him disappear, and Vanessa accused her, searched her, sent her away. "Find her." Vanessa blinked. "What?" "Find the girl. I want her name, her address, everything." Harrison. "Now." His voice left no room for argument. Vanessa stood, adjusted her suit. "You're making a mistake." "Then it's mine to make." She left without another word. Harrison stared at the ceiling, listened to the machines keeping him alive. and wondered about the girl who gave him a second chance, even though he didn't ask for one, even though he'd already decided he was done. She fought for him anyway, bled for him, saved him, and got nothing but suspicion in return. Harrison's hands shook, not from weakness, from shame. He didn't know her name, didn't know her face, but he owed her everything, and he was going to find her, even if she didn't want to be found, even if Vanessa was right and she only wanted money, even if it meant facing the uncomfortable truth that someone fought harder for his life than he did, and that was a debt he could never repay. But he'd try anyway, because that's what people do when they're given a second chance. They try. 3 days passed. Harrison called Vanessa every morning. "Did you find her?" "Still looking." "Look harder." Click. The reports came in pieces, contradictory, incomplete. One witness said the girl was blonde, another said brunette, a third said she wore a red jacket, someone else said blue. Nobody got her name. Nobody took a picture. She saved a man's life and disappeared like smoke. Harrison sat in his hospital bed, stared at a tablet full of search results. Big Sur rescue. Girl saves drowning man. California coast hero. Nothing. No articles, no videos, no recognition, like it never happened. But his bruised ribs said otherwise. His sore chest. His second chance at breathing. Someone gave him that. Someone whose name nobody knew. Vanessa walked in on day 4. No greeting, just results. "I found something." Harrison sat up too fast. Winced. "What?" She handed him a folder. "Witness statements, all of them. I had my team interview everyone at the scene." Harrison flipped through pages. Most were useless. "I didn't see anything. I was taking photos. There was a girl, but I don't remember her face." Then one statement. Different. "A black girl ran past me, dropped her backpack right there. Didn't even look back. Just jumped." Harrison's pulse quickened. "Did they see where she went after?" "No, but they remembered something else." Vanessa pointed to the next line. "She had a limp when she left. Bad one, like she was hurt." Harrison's stomach dropped. She was injured. Apparently. And nobody helped her. Vanessa's expression didn't change. Nobody knew she needed help. "She was bleeding, Vanessa. You saw her." Silence, heavy, uncomfortable. "Keep reading." Harrison turned the page. Another witness, a teenager. "I heard her backpack fall, saw what spilled out when your assistant dumped it. Hospital bills, a lot of them." Harrison's throat tightened. "You humiliated her." "I did my job." "Your job was to protect me, not attack a kid." Vanessa's jaw clenched. She could have been anyone. She was someone who saved my life. Harrison kept reading. One name appeared, just once, scribbled at the bottom of a witness statement. "I think someone called her Sky, or maybe that's just what I heard." Sky. Harrison said it out loud, let it sit in the air. Sky. It felt right, felt true. Vanessa pulled out her phone. "I ran the name against local records, cross-referenced with hospital billing addresses in the area. And 3 possibilities. All low-income households, all with outstanding medical debt." She showed him the screen. 3 names, 3 addresses, 3 girls who might be the one. Harrison's hand shook. "Which one?" "I don't know. That's why I'm here. You need to decide if this is worth it." Worth it. Chasing a ghost, opening old wounds. What if she doesn't want to be found? Harrison looked at her. Really looked at her. "Would you? After what you did to her?" Vanessa's expression cracked, just for a second, then hardened again. "I was protecting you." "From what? Gratitude?" She didn't answer. Harrison grabbed the tablet, looked at the 3 addresses. 3 chances. 3 doors to knock on. 3 possibilities of finding the girl who refused to let him die. Even when he wanted to. Even when the ocean felt easier than living. She fought. For him. A stranger. And he owed her more than thanks. He owed her the truth. That she saved someone who'd given up. That her courage mattered. That she wasn't invisible, even if the world treated her that way. I'm going. Vanessa sighed. You just got out of the hospital. I don't care. Harrison? I'm going, Vanessa. With or without you. She studied him, calculated, then nodded. Fine, but I'm driving. Harrison looked at the 3 addresses again. One of them was hers. One of them held answers. One of them would lead him to Sky, the girl who saved his life. And maybe, just maybe, he could save hers too. Not with money, not with power, but with something simpler, something she'd been denied. Acknowledgement, recognition, the truth, that what she did mattered, that she mattered, even if nobody else saw it. Harrison saw it now, and he wasn't going to let her disappear. Not again, not ever. He grabbed his jacket, ignored the pain in his ribs, and walked out of that hospital room, toward the girl who gave him a reason to keep breathing. Even though she had no idea, even though she probably thought he'd forgotten, he hadn't, and he never would. The first address was wrong. Harrison knew it the second the door opened. A middle-aged woman, suspicious eyes, no recognition. Can I help you? I'm looking for someone named Sky. Nobody here by that name. The door closed before he could say more. Vanessa drove to the second address without speaking. An apartment complex, peeling paint, broken stairs, laundry hanging from balconies. Harrison climbed to the 3rd floor. Knocked. A man answered. Shirtless, cigarette hanging from his lips. Yeah? I'm looking for Sky. Sky moved out 3 months ago. Harrison's chest tightened. Do you know where she went? The man shrugged. Nah, she didn't leave a forwarding address. Another dead end. Harrison returned to the car. His ribs ached, his head pounded, but he wasn't stopping. One more. Vanessa started the engine, drove in silence. The 3rd address was behind a strip mall, hidden between a laundromat and an abandoned restaurant, the kind of place people pretended not to see. Harrison stared at the building. Paint chipped, roof sagging, one window covered with cardboard. This was it. He felt it. Wait in the car. Vanessa didn't argue. Harrison walked to the door, raised his hand, paused. What would he say? Thank you? I'm sorry? Would words even matter after what Vanessa did? After how Sky was treated? He knocked anyway, soft at first, then louder. Footsteps inside, slow, cautious. The door cracked open. An older woman appeared, oxygen tubes in her nose, face gaunt, skin pale. She looked at Harrison with tired eyes. Can I help you? Harrison's throat went dry. I'm looking for Sky. The woman's expression shifted. Guarded, protective. Why? How did he explain this? She helped me a few days ago at Big Sur. The woman's eyes narrowed. You're the man from the ocean. Harrison nodded. Yes. Silence stretched between them. Heavy. Tense. Sky's not here. When will she be back? I don't know. The woman started to close the door. Harrison stepped forward. Please, I need to talk to her. She doesn't want to talk to you. How do you know? Because she came home bleeding and crying and told me what your people did to her. The words hit like a punch. Harrison's chest caved. That wasn't, I didn't know. Didn't know? You were there. I was unconscious. I didn't know what happened until I woke up. The woman's jaw tightened. And now you're here. Why? Guilt? Yes. The honesty surprised them both. The woman studied him, measuring, calculating. Sky saved your life. I know. She almost died doing it. I know. She got slapped, accused, searched like a criminal. Harrison's hands clenched. I know. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't pay for stitches. Harrison blinked. Stitches? Her leg. The cut was deep, infected. She finally went to urgent care yesterday. Guilt crushed him. How much? The woman's eyes flashed. We don't want your money. I wasn't. That's all people like you think about. Money. Like it fixes everything. It doesn't. I know it doesn't. Then what do you want? Harrison's voice cracked. I want to say thank you. I want her to know what she did mattered. It cost her everything. What do you mean? The woman's face crumpled, just for a second. Then she straightened, held herself together. She used her last money for my medication, skipped meals to pay for my oxygen, and when she saved you, she hurt herself so bad she couldn't work for 3 days. Harrison's stomach turned. I didn't know. Of course you didn't. People like you never do. The door started closing again. Wait, please, leave us alone. I can help. We don't need help. We need to be left in peace. Where is she? Just tell me where Sky is. The woman's expression hardened. She's out looking for work, because that's what she does. She survives. When will she be back? I don't know. Can I wait? No. The door closed. Harrison stood there, staring at peeling paint, at a cardboard window, at the place where his savior lived, in poverty, in struggle, in a world where saving someone's life meant losing everything. He'd found her, but she wasn't here. And even if she was, would she forgive him? Would she even want to see him? Harrison walked back to the car. Vanessa looked at him. Well, that's her house. And? She's not there. So what now? Harrison stared at the door, at the place Sky called home, at the evidence of how much his rescue cost her. We wait. For how long? As long as it takes. Because some debts couldn't be paid with money, some apologies couldn't be rushed, and some thank yous were worth waiting for, even if they came too late. Sky saw the car first, black, expensive, shining, parked outside her house like it didn't belong, because it didn't. Her stomach dropped. She knew what expensive cars meant: debt collectors, lawyers, people who came to take what little you had left. Sky's hand went to her backpack. Inside, 2 job applications, both rejections. Her leg still hurt. The stitches pulled when she walked. 14 stitches for a cut that wouldn't stop bleeding. $200 she didn't have, added to a bill she'd never pay. Sky approached slowly, noticed the man leaning against the car. Suit. Expensive watch. Looking at her house like it was a problem to solve. Then he turned, and Sky's breath caught. She knew that face, the ocean, the rocks, the man who almost died. He was here, at her house. Sky's feet stopped moving. Her heart hammered. Run! That's what her brain screamed. Turn around and run. But her legs wouldn't move. Harrison saw her. Recognition flashed across his face. He pushed off the car, took a step forward. Sky? Her name in his mouth felt wrong, invasive, like he'd stolen something private. How do you know my name? I've been looking for you. Sky's jaw tightened. Why? Harrison's eyes dropped to her leg, to the way she stood, favoring one side. You're hurt. I'm fine. You're limping. I said I'm fine. Silence stretched between them. Harrison looked like he wanted to say something, started twice, stopped both times. Sky crossed her arms. What do you want? To thank you. Sky laughed, short, bitter, humorless. You're late. I know. 4 days late. I know. Your assistant already thanked me, with a slap. Remember? Harrison flinched. That wasn't. I didn't know. You were there. I was unconscious. Convenient. Harrison's face twisted. Pain, shame, guilt. Sky didn't care. I need you to leave. I can't. Yes, you can. Get in your expensive car and drive away. You're good at that. Sky, don't call me that. What should I call you? Nothing. I don't want you here. Harrison stepped closer. Sky stepped back. Don't. He stopped, raised his hands. Surrender. I'm not here to hurt you. Too late. I know, and I'm sorry. Sky's eyes burned. She wouldn't cry. Not in front of him. Not again. Your sorry means nothing. I know that too. Then why are you here? Harrison's voice cracked. Because you saved my life, and I didn't fight for yours. Sky's throat tightened. I don't need you to fight for me. I think you do. You don't know anything about me. I know you risked everything to pull me out of that water. Anyone would have. No, they wouldn't. Nobody else even moved. Sky looked away. I'm not special. You are to me. Stop. You gave me a second chance. I said stop. Sky's voice broke. The tears came anyway, hot and angry and humiliating. You want to thank me? Fine, you're welcome. Now leave. I can't just leave. Why not? Because I know what it cost you. Sky's hands curled into fists. You don't know anything. Your guardian told me about the stitches, the medication, the work you missed. Sky's heart stopped. You talked to her? She answered the door. You had no right. I had every right. You saved my life. That doesn't give you access to mine. Harrison's shoulders sagged. You're right. I'm sorry. Just what? I needed to see you. To know you were okay. Sky gestured at herself, at her second-hand clothes, her bandaged leg, her exhaustion. Do I look okay to you? Harrison's face crumbled. No. Good. At least you're honest about something. Sky moved toward her door. Harrison followed. Wait, please. I'm done waiting. I waited for help on those rocks. Nobody came. I know. I waited for someone to ask if I was okay. Nobody did. I know. I waited for gratitude, for acknowledgement, for anything. Her voice rose, shook, and I got accused instead, searched, humiliated. I know, and if you say sorry one more time, I'm calling the police. Harrison stopped. Sky reached the door, put her hand on the knob. I don't want your money. I don't want your pity. I don't want anything from you. What if I want something from you? Sky turned. What? Harrison's eyes met hers. Raw, honest, broken. Forgiveness. Sky's breath caught. For what? For not fighting harder, for letting the water take me, for making you save someone who'd already given up. The words hung in the air, heavy, true. Sky's chest tightened. You wanted to die. It wasn't a question. Harrison nodded. Yes. And I stopped you. Yes. Sky's voice dropped to a whisper. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe. But you did anyway. Silence. Sky stared at this man, this stranger, this person she'd bled for, and felt something shift, just slightly. I need to go inside. Okay. Don't come back. Harrison nodded, but they both knew. He'd come back. And next time she might let him in. Harrison came back the next morning. Sky opened the door and there he was, standing on her porch. 2 coffees in his hands, looking nervous. I told you not to come back. I know. So why are you here? Harrison held out one of the coffees. Peace offering. Sky stared at it. I don't drink coffee. Oh. He looked down at the cups. Lost, like he'd miscalculated badly. Sky almost smiled. Almost. What do you want? Harrison set the coffees on the porch railing. To talk. We talked yesterday. You talked. I apologized. That's not the same thing. Sky crossed her arms. I'm listening. Harrison took a breath. I've been trying to understand why you did it, why you jumped in. I told you, anyone would have. That's not true, and you know it. Sky's jaw tightened. What do you want me to say? That I'm a hero? I'm not. Then what are you? Stupid. Clearly. Harrison shook his head. You're brave. Brave people don't live like this. Sky gestured at her house, at the peeling paint, the sagging roof, the evidence of poverty he couldn't ignore. Brave people don't end up poor and broken. Some do. Well, it's a terrible reward. Harrison's voice softened. I know. Silence settled between them. Different than yesterday. Less angry, more honest. Why did you want to die? The question came out before Sky could stop it. Harrison's eyes closed. That's complicated. Try me. He looked at her house, at the strip mall, at the world she lived in. You wouldn't understand. Sky's laugh was sharp. Because I'm poor? Because I struggle? You think suffering is exclusive to rich people? No, you had everything, and you threw it away. Harrison's face crumpled. I know. My guardian can't breathe without a machine. I can't afford her medication. We're 2 missed payments from being homeless. Her voice rose. And you stood on those rocks with everything and chose nothing. You're right. I know I'm right. It was selfish. It was cruel. Harrison looked up, met her eyes. I'm sorry. Sky's throat tightened. Stop apologizing. I don't know what else to do. Neither do I. They stood there. 2 people from different worlds, bound by one impossible moment. Harrison cleared his throat. Can I ask you something? You're already here, might as well. When you pulled me out, did you know who I was? Sky frowned. What do you mean? My name. My company. Did you know? No. When did you find out? Sky thought back. To the hospital waiting room, the muted TV, his face on the screen. 2 days later, saw you on the news. Harrison's expression shifted. And you didn't call anyone? Didn't reach out? Why would I? Most people would, for the reward, the recognition. Sky's eyes hardened. I'm not most people. I'm starting to understand that. Sky shifted her weight. Her leg throbbed. Harrison noticed. You should sit down. I'm fine. You keep saying that. Because you keep asking. A small smile. The first one. Harrison gestured to the steps. Can I sit? Sky hesitated, then nodded. Harrison sat. Sky stayed standing. Your assistant thought I was after money. I know. She was wrong. Was she? Harrison looked up. Yes. How do you know? Because you're still here, living like this. If you wanted money, you would have come to me. Sky's voice dropped. Maybe I have pride. Maybe you do. Maybe pride doesn't pay bills. No, it doesn't. Harrison pulled something from his pocket. An envelope. Don't. Sky's voice was sharp. Harrison stopped. It's not money. I don't care what it is. Just look. No. Sky, I said no. Harrison set the envelope on the steps, stood up. I'm leaving it here. You can throw it away, burn it, whatever you want. I will. Okay. He moved toward his car, stopped, turned back. For what it's worth, I'm glad you saved me. Sky's chest tightened. Are you? Harrison's voice cracked. I'm starting to be. He got in his car, drove away. Sky stood on the porch, stared at the envelope, told herself to ignore it, told herself it didn't matter, but her hands picked it up anyway. Inside, no money, just a card, simple, plain, and written in messy handwriting. I don't know how to fix what my assistant did to you, but I want to try, not with money, with truth. You saved someone who wasn't worth saving, but maybe you saw something I couldn't. Maybe you knew I could be better. I'm trying to be, because of you. Below that, a phone number, and one more line. Call me when you're ready, or don't. Either way, thank you for not walking away. Sky read it 3 times. Her hands shook, her eyes burned, and for the first time since the ocean, she didn't feel invisible. She felt seen, and that was more dangerous than money, because you can refuse money. But being seen? That's harder to walk away from. Sky stared at the phone number for 3 days, carried the card in her pocket, took it out, put it back, memorized the digits without meaning to. Her guardian noticed. What's that? Nothing. Doesn't look like nothing. Sky folded the card. Just something someone gave me. The man from the ocean? Sky's head snapped up. How did you— I'm sick, not blind. Her guardian smiled, weak but knowing. He came back? Twice. What does he want? Sky's throat tightened. I don't know. You don't call someone twice for nothing. Maybe he feels guilty. Good. He should. Sky looked at the card again. He left this. Her guardian reached out. Sky handed it over, watched her read, saw her expression soften. He didn't offer money? No. Smart man. Why is that smart? Her guardian handed back the card. Because you would have said no. But truth, you can't refuse truth. Sky tucked the card away. I'm not calling him. Why not? Because I don't need anything from him. Maybe he needs something from you. Sky's chest tightened. Like what? Forgiveness. Purpose. A reason to be better. That's not my job. No, but maybe it's your gift. Sky didn't respond. That night, her guardian's breathing got worse. The oxygen machine worked overtime. Sky sat beside her, counted each breath, prayed for one more, then another. At 2 a.m, the coughing started. Violent. Painful. Sky grabbed the inhaler. Empty. Her stomach dropped. I'll get more. Sky, I'll get more. But she couldn't. Not at 2 a.m. Not without money, not without a miracle. Sky held her guardian's hand, felt how cold it was, how fragile. You're okay. You're okay. The coughing slowed, stopped. Her guardian's breathing evened out. Sky stayed awake, watching, counting, terrified to close her eyes. At dawn, she pulled out the card, stared at the number. Her hands shook. This wasn't about pride anymore. This was about survival. She dialed. It rang once, twice. Hello? Harrison's voice, rough with sleep. Sky almost hung up. Hello? Is someone there? Sky's voice came out small. It's Sky. Silence. Then, Sky. He said it like a prayer, like he'd been waiting. I need help. The words burned, coming out. Tell me. My guardian. She can't breathe. The inhaler's empty. I don't have money for more. Where are you? Sky gave him the address. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Harrison. 20 minutes. He hung up. Sky sat on the porch, watched the sun rise, watched the strip mall wake up, watched expensive cars drive past her invisible life, until one stopped. Harrison got out. No suit this time. Jeans, t-shirt, messy hair. He looked human. He held up a pharmacy bag. I called ahead, got everything the pharmacy had. Sky's eyes burned. How much do I owe you? Nothing. Harrison, I'm serious. This isn't a transaction. Sky's throat closed. She took the bag. Their fingers touched. Brief. Electric. Harrison pulled back first. Is she okay? For now. Can I see her? Sky hesitated, then nodded. They went inside. Her guardian was awake, pale but breathing. She looked at Harrison. Recognition flickered. You're the man who almost drowned. Harrison's voice was soft. Yes, ma'am. You look better than last time I saw you. I feel better. Good. She studied him. Why are you here? Your girl called, said you needed help. And you came. Of course. At 6 a.m. Yes. Her guardian's eyes softened. You love her. Sky's breath caught. What? No, he doesn't. Harrison's voice was quiet. Honest. I don't know her well enough to love her, but I owe her my life. And that's not something I take lightly. Sky's chest tightened. Her guardian smiled. Good answer. She coughed. Sky administered the inhaler, watched her guardian breathe easier, felt the terror loosen its grip. Harrison stood by the door, watching, not intruding, just present. When her guardian fell back asleep, Sky walked him out. They stood on the porch, morning light between them. Thank you. Harrison shook his head. You don't thank someone for doing the bare minimum. Most people don't even do that. Then most people are failing. Sky looked at him, really looked at him, saw someone different than the man on the rocks, Someone trying, someone changing. Why did you answer at 6 a.m.? Harrison's smile was sad. I haven't slept well since the ocean. Keep waking up, checking my phone, hoping you'd call. Why? Because you're the only person who sees me as I actually am. What's that? Someone who needs saving too. Sky's breath hitched. Harrison walked to his car, turned back. Call me any time, day or night. I'll answer. He drove away. Sky stood there, holding an empty pharmacy bag, feeling less alone than she had in years and terrified of what that meant. Sky didn't call Harrison again, but he kept showing up. Not every day, just when it mattered. When the power got shut off, he paid it. When her guardian needed new medication, it appeared. When Sky's car wouldn't start, a mechanic showed up. I didn't call you, Sky said each time. I know, Harrison always replied. It should have felt invasive, controlling, like charity, but it didn't, because Harrison never stayed, never asked for gratitude, never made her feel small. He just helped, then left, like he was repaying a debt one day at a time. 2 weeks passed. Sky was in the hospital waiting room. Her guardian needed tests, expensive ones. Sky filled out forms she couldn't afford, signed papers that felt like surrender. The TV played in the corner, muted. Sky wasn't watching until she saw his face. Harrison, on the screen, in a suit, standing in front of cameras. Sky grabbed the remote, turned up the volume. Harrison Cole, CEO of MedCorp Solutions, announced today that the company will be reversing its recent policy change regarding insurance coverage. Sky's blood went cold. MedCorp Solutions. She knew that name. Knew it from every bill sitting on her kitchen table, every denied claim, every fight with insurance companies. The reporter continued. The policy, which limited coverage for chronic respiratory conditions, had been criticized by patient advocacy groups. Sky's hands started shaking. Mr. Cole stated that the policy was implemented without full consideration of its human impact. The camera cut to Harrison. He looked uncomfortable, guilty. This was a mistake. My mistake. And I'm correcting it. A reporter shouted a question. Mr. Cole, this reversal will cost the company millions. What changed your mind? Harrison's jaw tightened. I met someone who showed me what these policies actually do to people, to families, and I couldn't live with that. Sky's chest tightened. The screen showed documents, policy numbers, effective dates, and there it was, the same policy number from her guardian's bills, MedCorp Solutions, Harrison's company, Harrison's signature, Harrison's decision. Sky stood up, walked out of the waiting room, down the hall, into the bathroom, locked herself in a stall, and tried to breathe. He knew, the whole time he knew. His company denied her guardian's claims. His policy made their medication unaffordable. His decision put them in this nightmare, and he never said anything. Sky's hands curled into fists. She wanted to scream, to break something, to call him and demand answers. But she couldn't move, could only stand there, shaking, betrayed. Again, her phone buzzed. Harrison. She didn't answer. It buzzed again. A text. I know you saw the news. Please let me explain. Sky threw her phone in her bag. Another text. I wanted to tell you. I tried. I didn't know how. Another. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sky wanted to throw up. All those times he showed up. The medication, the electric bill, the mechanic. It wasn't kindness. It was guilt. He wasn't helping her. He was fixing his mistake. She was his mistake. Sky's vision blurred. She returned to the waiting room, collected her guardian, drove home in silence. Harrison's car was parked outside. Of course it was. Sky helped her guardian inside, then walked back out. Harrison stood on the porch, looking wrecked. Sky, don't. Please, let me explain. Explain what? That your company is why we're drowning in debt? Yes. That your signature is on every denied claim? Yes. That you've known this whole time? Harrison's voice broke. Yes. Sky's laugh was sharp, painful. And you said nothing. I didn't know how. How about the truth? How about, hey, Sky, by the way, I'm the reason your life is falling apart. Would you have let me help if I told you? I wouldn't have needed your help if you hadn't destroyed us in the first place. The words echoed. Harrison stepped back like she'd hit him. You're right. I know I'm right. I'm reversing the policy, covering all past claims. Your guardian's bills, I don't want your money. It's not money. It's making things right. You can't make this right. I have to try. Sky's voice dropped, cold, final. You want to make things right? Yes. Then leave, and don't come back. Sky, I saved your life, and you've been buying your way out of guilt ever since. That's not… Yes, it is. You don't care about me. You care about feeling better about yourself. Harrison's face crumpled. That's not true. Prove it. How? Sky's eyes burned. Leave. Harrison stood there, broken, desperate, then nodded. Okay? He walked to his car, stopped, turned back. For what it's worth, you changed me, not because of guilt, because of who you are. Sky didn't respond, couldn't. Harrison drove away, and Sky stood on her porch, watching the expensive car disappear, wondering if anything he ever said was true, or if she was just another problem he thought he could solve, another debt to be paid, another mistake to bury. She saved his life, and he'd been slowly destroying hers. That was the truth, and truth hurt worse than drowning. Harrison didn't leave. Not really. He just became invisible, like Sky had been. He paid every denied claim, thousands of them, didn't announce it, didn't hold a press conference, just signed checks until his hand cramped. The board called an emergency meeting. Vanessa led the attack. You're destroying the company. Harrison didn't look up from the files. Good. Good? We're losing millions. We stole millions first. That's not how business works. Then business is broken. Vanessa slammed her hand on the table. They'll remove you, vote you out. Let them. Harrison, I don't care anymore, Vanessa. His voice was hollow, empty. I spent years building something that hurt people. I'm done. So you'll throw it all away? I already did. The second I stood on those rocks, Vanessa's expression shifted. Understanding, horror. You wanted to die. Harrison met her eyes. Yes. And now I'm trying to live differently. By destroying everything? By fixing what I broke. Vanessa stood, straightened her suit. The board meets Friday. They're going to remove you. I know. And you're okay with that? Harrison looked at the stack of approved claims, hundreds of families, hundreds of lives, people like Sky. Yeah, I am. Vanessa left. Harrison kept signing. The news broke 3 days later. MedCorp CEO Harrison Cole under fire for controversial policy reversal. Board seeks emergency vote to remove Cole. Shareholders furious as company stock plummets. Harrison's phone exploded. Investors screaming. Lawyers threatening. Board members demanding he resign. He ignored them all. Kept working. Kept approving claims. Kept making things right, even if it cost him everything. Sky saw it on the news, saw Harrison in the headlines, looking exhausted, defeated, losing everything, because of her. No, because of what was right. Her guardian noticed, he's destroying himself. Sky didn't respond. For you. Not for me. For everyone. It started with you. Sky's throat tightened. He should have done it from the beginning. But he didn't. He's doing it now. It's too late. Her guardian's hand found Sky's. Is it? Sky pulled away. I don't owe him forgiveness. No, you don't. He lied to me. Yes. He hurt us. Yes. So why do I feel guilty? Her guardian smiled sadly. Because you're a good person. And good people feel guilty even when they shouldn't. Sky stared at the TV, at Harrison's face, at the evidence of his fall. What if he's doing this for the wrong reasons? What if he's doing it for the right ones? How do I know? You don't. But you can find out. Sky's phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered. Hello? A woman's voice, professional. Cold. Is this Sky Martinez? Yes. This is Rebecca Chen from MedCorp Solutions Legal Department. I'm calling regarding your guardian's medical claims. Sky's stomach dropped. What about them? They've all been approved, retroactively. With interest for delayed payment. Sky couldn't breathe. What? Your outstanding balance is zero. Additionally, all future claims for respiratory conditions will be automatically approved. I don't understand. Mr. Cole personally flagged your account, made sure it was processed first. Sky's hands shook. Why are you calling? Silence, then softer. Because he asked me to. Said you deserved to know it was done. No strings, no conditions. Where is he? I can't share that information. Please, the woman hesitated. He's testifying. Congressional hearing on insurance practices. He volunteered to go public with everything. Sky's chest tightened. Everything? Everything. Including his own company's violations. He's burning bridges he can never rebuild. Why would he do that? The woman's voice cracked slightly. He said someone showed him what courage looks like, and he wanted to stop being a coward. The line went dead. Sky sat there, phone in hand, heart racing. Harrison was testifying against his own company, destroying his reputation, his career, his future. Not quietly, not privately, publicly, where everyone would see, where he couldn't take it back. Sky turned on the TV, found the hearing, and there he was, sitting at a table, facing cameras, facing consequences, looking terrified, but doing it anyway. A senator leaned forward. Mr. Cole, you understand that this testimony may result in criminal charges against you personally? Harrison's voice was steady. Yes. And you're willing to proceed? Yes. Why? Harrison looked directly at the camera, like he was looking at her. Because someone once risked everything to save me, and I need to be worth saving. Sky's vision blurred. Her guardian's hand squeezed hers. Still think it's too late? Sky couldn't answer, could only watch, as Harrison told the truth. All of it. The denied claims, the profit margins, the people who died waiting, the families destroyed, his signature on every cruel decision. He didn't defend himself, didn't make excuses, just confessed. And when it was over, when the senators looked disgusted, when the cameras captured his fall, Harrison looked relieved, like he'd finally put down something too heavy to carry. Sky stood up. Where are you going? Her guardian smiled, already knowing. To save him back. Harrison left the hearing room empty. No job, no reputation, no future, just truth. And somehow that felt like enough. The hallway was packed with reporters, cameras, microphones, questions shouted over each other. Mr. Cole, do you regret your testimony? Will you face criminal charges? What's next for you? Harrison kept walking, head down, shoulders heavy. Then he saw her, standing at the end of the hallway. Sky. His feet stopped. The reporters kept shouting, but he couldn't hear them anymore. Only saw her. She looked small in the crowd, out of place, but she was there. Sky pushed through the reporters. They tried to stop her. She didn't care. She walked straight to Harrison, stood in front of him. You testified. Harrison's voice was rough. You watched. All of it. Sky, Shut up. She grabbed his hand, pulled him through the crowd. The reporters followed, cameras flashing, questions flying. Sky didn't stop, didn't slow down, just pulled Harrison through the chaos like she pulled him from the ocean, determined, unstoppable. They burst through the doors. Outside, Sky kept walking, away from the building, away from the cameras, down the street until the noise faded. Then she stopped, let go of his hand, turned to face him. Why did you do it? Harrison's throat tightened. I had to. You didn't have to. You chose to. Same thing. No, it's not. Sky's eyes searched his. You lost everything. I know. Your company, your career. Maybe your freedom. I know. Was it worth it? Harrison's voice cracked. Yes. Sky's breath hitched. Why? Because you were right. I couldn't fix what I did with money, or silence. I had to own it. You could have done it quietly. Quiet doesn't change anything. Quiet just makes guilt comfortable. Sky's eyes burned. You're an idiot. Harrison smiled, sad, broken, real. Yeah, I know. You threw away everything. I threw away things that were killing me. What are you going to do now? Harrison looked at the sky, at the clouds, at the world that suddenly felt bigger. I don't know. Start over, be better, figure out who I am without the company. And if you go to jail, then I go to jail. Sky's voice shook. You're serious? Yes. You're actually okay with losing everything. I already lost everything that mattered, on those rocks, before you pulled me out. Sky stepped closer. What changed? Harrison met her eyes. You changed everything. I didn't do anything. You did everything. You showed me what it looks like to fight for something, to sacrifice without asking for anything back. His voice dropped. You saved me twice, Sky. Once from the water. Once from myself. Sky's tears fell. She didn't wipe them. I was so angry at you. You had every right. I still am. I know. But I'm here anyway. Why? Sky's voice was barely a whisper. Because I understand now what it's like to carry something too heavy, to make mistakes that hurt people, to want a second chance. Harrison's chest tightened. You never hurt anyone. I hurt you when I wouldn't forgive you, when I sent you away. You were protecting yourself. So were you. In the worst way possible. They stood there. Two broken people, 2 second chances, 2 lives tangled together by one impossible moment. What now? Harrison asked. Sky wiped her face. Now you deal with the consequences, face whatever comes, and stop trying to drown. What about us? There is no us. Harrison's face fell. I know. There's no us yet. But maybe there could be. Hope flickered in his eyes. Maybe? If you stay alive, if you stay honest, if you prove that today wasn't just guilt talking. How long do I have to prove it? Sky's smile was small, fragile, but real. As long as it takes. Harrison nodded. I can do that. Can you? I survived drowning because you wouldn't let me die. I can survive this. Sky reached into her pocket, pulled out something small. The card he gave her, worn, folded, carried. You said call you any time. I meant it. Even now, when you have nothing? Harrison's voice was clear, strong. Especially now, when I have nothing. You're everything. Sky handed him back the card. Then keep this. You're going to need it more than me. Harrison took it. Their fingers touched. This time neither pulled away. Thank you, Harrison whispered. For what? For showing up. When I didn't deserve it. Sky's voice was soft. That's what you do for people. You show up. Even when it's hard. Even when they don't deserve it. Is that what you learned? No. That's what I've always known. You're the one who's learning. Harrison smiled. Real this time. Teach me? Sky stepped back. Maybe, if you're worth teaching. She walked away. Harrison watched her go. Still standing. Still breathing. Still fighting. Because someone believed he could be better. And that was enough. For now. That was enough. Sky's guardian could breathe without the machine now. Not perfectly, but better. Enough to walk to the kitchen. Enough to laugh without coughing. Enough to live. The bills stopped coming. The threatening letters, the final notices, all gone. Sky still worked, still struggled, but differently now, like she was climbing instead of drowning. Her phone rang. Harrison. He called every week, same day, same time, never missed once. Hey. His voice sounded lighter. Hey, how are you? Good. Guardian's doing better. That's great, really great. Silence settled, comfortable now. How about you? Sky asked. Harrison laughed, short, honest. I'm working at a nonprofit, making minimum wage, living in a studio apartment that smells like old carpet. Sounds terrible. It's perfect, Sky smiled. Liar. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's real. Real is better. Yeah, it is. More silence. Sky traced patterns on her table. The trial's coming up. Harrison's voice steadied. I know. You nervous? Terrified. Good. You should be. Thanks for the support. Sky's voice softened. I mean it. Being scared means you understand what matters now. Harrison was quiet. Then, will you be there? At the trial? Sky's chest tightened. Do you want me to be? Only if you want to. That's not an answer. Harrison's breath hitched. Yes, I want you there, but I'll understand if I'll be there. You will? Someone has to make sure you don't try to drown again. Harrison's laugh was real this time. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. I might testify against you. Fair. Sky heard something in the background. Voices, movement. You at work? Yeah, food bank, sorting donations. Sky's throat tightened. The man who had everything. Now sorting canned goods. You happy? Harrison paused, really thought about it. Yeah, I think I am. Or I'm getting there. Good. What about you? Sky looked around her house, still small, still broken, but different now. Less suffocating. I'm getting there too. We should celebrate. Celebrate what? Getting there. It's harder than people think. Sky's smile hurt. Yeah, it is. Coffee? Next week? I don't drink coffee. I know, but I keep offering anyway. Why? Harrison's voice dropped. Vulnerable. Because one day you might say yes, and I want to be there when you do. Sky's eyes burned. Maybe I will. Yeah? Maybe. I'll take maybe. Someone called Harrison's name in the background. I have to go. Truck just arrived with more donations. Okay. Sky? Yeah? Thank you for not giving up on me. I didn't save you so you could waste it. I won't, I promise. Good. They hung up. Sky sat there, phone in hand, thinking about coffee, about maybe, about second chances that felt like first ones. Her guardian walked in, moving slow but steady. Was that him? Sky nodded. He's doing well. And you? What about me? You love him. Sky's head snapped up. I barely know him. You know him better than anyone. That's not... You saved his life. Watched him destroy himself. Watched him rebuild. That's not nothing. Sky's voice was small. I'm scared. Of what? That he'll go back. To who he was. That this is temporary. Her guardian sat beside her. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But you can't protect yourself from every possibility. I can try. You can. But you'll miss everything good while you're protecting yourself from everything bad. Sky looked at her hands, at the scars from the rocks, faded now, but still there. What if I'm not enough? To keep him from going back? Her guardian's voice was firm. You're not responsible for keeping him alive. You're only responsible for showing him why life's worth living. How do I do that? By living yours, honestly, bravely, the way you always have. Sky's phone buzzed. A text from Harrison, a photo, him at the food bank, covered in dust, smiling, surrounded by boxes. The caption read, "Getting there." Sky stared at it, at his real smile, at evidence of change. She typed back, "Proud of you." 3 dots appeared, then his response. Coffee next week? Sky's fingers hovered. Her heart raced. She thought about the ocean, about taking risks, about jumping in even when the water looked dangerous. She typed 3 letters. Yes, sent it before she could take it back. Harrison's response was immediate. Really? Sky smiled. Really, but I'm ordering tea. Deal. Best deal I've ever made. Sky set down her phone. Her guardian squeezed her hand. You said yes. I said yes to tea. Same thing. Maybe it was. Maybe saying yes to tea was saying yes to possibility, to trust, to letting someone who fell rise again. Sky didn't know what would happen. If Harrison would stay changed, if she could forgive completely, if they could build something real from broken pieces. But she knew one thing. She didn't save him just to watch from a distance. She saved him to see what he'd become. And maybe, just maybe, he was becoming someone worth knowing, someone worth the risk, someone worth saying yes to, even if it scared her, especially because it scared her. Because courage wasn't jumping into the ocean. Courage was choosing to trust again, after every reason not to. The courtroom was packed. Victims, families, reporters, people who lost everything because of policies Harrison signed. Sky sat in the back, watched Harrison at the defense table. He looked smaller than she remembered. Thinner, tired, but present, fully present. The prosecutor stood. Mr. Cole, you knowingly implemented policies that resulted in the deaths of 17 people. Do you deny this? Harrison's voice was clear. No, I don't deny it. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. His lawyer looked panicked. Harrison ignored him. I signed those policies. I knew they would deny coverage. I told myself it was business, that it wasn't personal. His voice cracked. But every denial was personal. Every rejected claim was a person, a life, a family. The prosecutor looked surprised. This wasn't how defendants usually acted. Are you saying you're guilty? Harrison met his eyes. Yes, I'm guilty. His lawyer tried to interrupt. Harrison kept talking. I'm guilty of prioritizing profit over people, of hiding behind corporate language while people suffered, of being a coward. The judge leaned forward. Mr. Cole, I advise you to consult with your attorney. I don't need to consult. I know what I did. Harrison turned to face the courtroom, to face the families. I'm sorry. I know that's not enough. Nothing I say will bring back the people you lost. But I'm sorry, and I'm ready to accept whatever punishment you decide. Silence. Heavy. Thick. Then a woman stood. Middle-aged, red eyes, shaking hands. My husband died waiting for approval, for a medication that cost $50. Harrison's face crumpled. I know. I read his file. Robert Martinez, 53 years old, father of 2. He died because of me. The woman's voice broke. Why? Why did you let him die? Because I was broken. Because I thought money mattered more than people. Because I was wrong. Another person stood, then another, then a dozen. All with stories, all with loss, all with faces Harrison had ignored. Until now. Sky watched him take it. Every accusation, every tear, every ounce of pain. He didn't defend himself, didn't minimize, just listened. And broke. The prosecutor called Sky's name. The prosecution calls Sky Martinez to the stand. Sky's heart stopped. She stood, walked to the front, swore to tell the truth, sat down. The prosecutor approached. Ms. Martinez, you saved Mr. Cole's life, correct? Yes. And his company's policies directly harmed your family? Yes. Do you believe Mr. Cole deserves leniency? Sky looked at Harrison, at his devastated face, at the man who'd lost everything trying to make things right. No. Harrison's eyes closed. I don't believe he deserves leniency. The prosecutor smiled. Thought he'd won. Sky continued. But I believe he deserves a chance to keep fixing what he broke. Not from a prison cell, but out here, where he can actually help people. The prosecutor's smile faded. Ms. Martinez. He's spent the last 6 months working at a nonprofit, helping families navigate insurance denials. He makes minimum wage, lives in a studio apartment, gave away everything he had. Sky's voice strengthened. Putting him in prison doesn't help anyone. It just makes us feel better. But feeling better doesn't bring anyone back. It doesn't fix the system. She looked at the families. He should spend the rest of his life making this right, every single day, actually helping people instead of hiding behind walls. The courtroom erupted. Some agreed, some shouted. The judge called for order. Sky stepped down, past Harrison. He whispered, "Thank you." Sky didn't respond, just returned to her seat. The trial continued. Witness after witness, evidence, arguments, tears. It took 3 days. When it ended, the judge spoke. "Mr. Cole, you're guilty of criminal negligence resulting in death. The law demands punishment." Harrison stood, ready. "However, this court recognizes your cooperation, your restitution, your ongoing efforts to repair the harm caused." Sky held her breath. "You're sentenced to 10 years, suspended, conditional on continued community service, restitution, and oversight." Harrison's lawyer exhaled. The families looked conflicted. The judge continued. "You will spend the next decade proving your remorse means something. If you fail, you go to prison. Understood?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Then don't fail." The gavel struck. Sky left before Harrison could find her, walked to her car, sat in the driver's seat, and cried. Not from sadness, from relief, from exhaustion, from the weight of watching someone almost destroy himself, then choose to live anyway. Her phone buzzed. "Harrison, thank you for what you said." "You didn't have to." Sky typed back. "I know. Why did you?" Sky stared at the message, thought about the ocean, about pulling someone to shore even when you're drowning, about believing people can change even when they've given you every reason not to. She typed slowly. "Because I didn't save you so you could waste it in prison. I saved you so you could do better. Now prove I was right." His response came fast. "I will, I promise." "Don't promise. Just do it." "Okay. Coffee tomorrow? To celebrate not going to prison?" Sky smiled through tears. "Tea. And yes, it's a date. It's tea. Best tea of my life." Sky set down her phone, started her car, and drove home. Tomorrow she'd have tea with a man who almost died, who almost destroyed everything, who was learning to live differently, and maybe, just maybe, that was enough. For now. A year later, Sky stood at the Big Sur cliffs again. Same spot, different person. The ocean looked the same, calm until it wasn't, but Sky wasn't afraid of it anymore. Footsteps behind her. She knew them without turning. Harrison stopped beside her, held 2 cups. "Tea." Sky took one. "You remembered." "I always remember." They stood in silence, watching the waves, watching tourists take pictures, watching the water that almost took everything. "You come here a lot?" Harrison asked. "Sometimes, when I need to remember." "Remember what?" "That I'm stronger than I think." Harrison's voice was soft. "You are. So are you." He shook his head. "I'm still figuring that out." "Good. Keep figuring it out." They sipped their tea. The wind carried salt and memories. "How's your guardian?" Harrison asked. Sky smiled, real, full, unguarded. "She's good, really good. Breathing on her own most days now." "That's amazing." "Yeah, it is. And you? How are you?" Sky turned to face him, studied his face, still tired, still carrying weight, but alive, fully alive. "I'm okay, working 2 jobs still. But they're jobs I chose, not jobs I'm desperate for." "That's different." "Everything's different now." Harrison looked at the ocean. "I think about it sometimes. That day. What would have happened if you hadn't been watching? You would have drowned." "Yeah?" Do you still want to? The question hung between them, heavy, honest. Harrison took a long breath. No, not anymore. Some days are hard. Some days I wake up and wonder why I'm still fighting. But then I remember. Remember what? That someone fought for me when I wouldn't fight for myself. And that means something. Sky's throat tightened. It means you were worth fighting for. Was I, though? I don't know. But you're becoming someone who is. Harrison's eyes glistened. That's all I want. To be worth what you gave up to save me. I didn't give up anything. You bled for me. Suffered for me. Risked everything. Sky looked at the water, at the place where everything changed. I didn't do it for you. I did it because I couldn't walk away. That's just who I am. I know. And that's why I'm still here. Because you showed me what it means to not walk away. Silence settled. Comfortable. Real. The nonprofit's expanding, Harrison said. We're opening 3 more locations, helping more families fight insurance denials. That's good. I want you to run one. Sky's head snapped up. What? You understand what people are going through. You've lived it. You'd be perfect. I'm not qualified. Neither was I, but you taught me that qualifications don't matter as much as giving a damn. Sky stared at him. I don't know. Think about it. No pressure. The offer stands. Sky turned back to the ocean. Why do you keep doing this? Doing what? Trying to give me things. Fix things. Make things better. Harrison's voice was quiet. Because you saved my life and never asked for anything in return. And that's not a debt I can ever repay, but I can try. I don't want repayment. I know. That's why I keep trying. Sky laughed, small, genuine. You're impossible. Yeah, I know. They stood there. 2 people who shouldn't have survived, but did. A wave crashed below, louder than the rest. Sky didn't flinch. I'm scared, she whispered. Of what? That this isn't real. That you'll go back to who you were. That I'll lose everything again. Harrison set down his cup, turned to face her fully. I can't promise I won't mess up. I can't promise I'll always get it right, but I can promise I'll never stop trying. Because you didn't stop trying to save me. Even when the ocean wanted us both. Sky's eyes burned. That's not enough. I know, but it's a start. Harrison smiled. Broken. Beautiful. Real. Yeah, it is. Sky looked at the ocean one more time. At the water that takes and gives, that destroys and transforms. She jumped into that water expecting to save 1 life. She never expected to save 2. Coffee next week? Harrison asked. Sky corrected him automatically. Tea. Right. Tea. Same thing. It's really not. To me it is. Sky looked at him. At this man who fell and chose to rise, who broke and chose to rebuild, who was learning that surviving wasn't the same as living. Okay. Yeah? Yeah. Tea next week. Harrison's smile could have lit the whole coast. It's a date. It's tea. Best tea of my life. They walked back to their cars. The ocean kept moving behind them, indifferent, endless, powerful. It didn't care who survived, who drowned, who saved who. But Sky cared, and Harrison cared, and sometimes that's all that matters. Not changing the world, not being powerful, not being perfect, just refusing to walk away when someone needs saving, when you need saving, when the water rises and the rocks are sharp and the whole world tells you to let go. You hold on anyway, you pull harder, you don't stop fighting, even when no one's watching, even when there's no reward, even when it costs you everything. Because some people don't change the world by being powerful. They change it by refusing to leave, by showing up, by saving someone who forgot how to save themselves. Sky got in her car. Harrison waved from his, and they drove away from the ocean, toward something new, something uncertain, something possible, together, but separate, healing, living, becoming people worth saving, One day at a time, one tea at a time, one moment at a time. That was enough. For now. That was everything. If Sky's story moved you, if you felt her pain, her courage, or that moment when she had to choose between anger and forgiveness, do me a favor. Drop a comment and tell me, would you have saved him? Would you have jumped into that water for a stranger? Would you have forgiven him after everything? I read every single comment. Your stories, your thoughts, they matter to me. They're what keep me creating these stories every week. And if you want more stories like this, stories about real people facing impossible choices, about second chances and the courage it takes to keep going, hit that subscribe button. Because I've got so many more stories to tell you, stories that'll make you feel something real. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching till the end. That means everything to me. I'll see you in the next story. Until then, take care of yourself. And remember, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is refuse to walk away. See you soon.